Guys, welcome back to McConnor's College Football Predictions. Now, last week I went 2-2. There's always that one week every single year where there's a ton of upsets, and unfortunately for me, it was last week. I lost the Oklahoma-Texas game and the Northwestern-Wisconsin game. But looking to bounce back from 2-2, I have a slate of four pretty good games picked out for you. So let's get started with that right now. First off, we have Florida going into Missouri. Now, Missouri losing James Franklin absolutely kills them. In four of his first five games, James Franklin, that is, he had 250 plus passing yards. And overall, he had 14 touchdowns and only three interceptions. So he was really the main centerpiece of this Missouri offense. Now they have a freshman starting as their quarterback, and his first full game, I should say, is against Florida. So you say, okay, well, they can rely on the running game. Well, Florida is also fourth in the country when it comes to stopping the run. So I think that losing James Franklin is a huge part of this game, and it really starts to play into it. Now, Florida doesn't have a very good offense, but I think that without James Franklin, Missouri has an even worse offense. So I'm going with Florida. This game was very close for me in a low-scoring game, and the Gators come out on top. Next up, we have UCLA versus Stanford. Now, this was another close game for me to pick. I have to go with UCLA. Now, I don't know the last time Stanford lost two games in a row. I'll have to look that up, but I think that's going to happen this week. UCLA's offense is clicking on all cylinders. Brett Hundley, not only is he a good passer, but he's also second on the team in rushing, so he's pretty mobile as well. Uh, Stanford, they're 93rd in the country when it comes to stopping the pass. So I think that Brett Hundley, not only in the rushing game, but in the passing game, could really succeed and really get this UCLA offense going. Also, Kevin Hogan for Stanford, I just don't really think he's living up to his expectations. He's 72nd in the country in passing yards per game, 65th in total offense, and he's also 92nd in the country in completions per game. He's just not getting the job done for me. And I think that Keenan Graham for UCLA, he's a defensive lineman, could really play a huge part in this game. He's could really get Kevin Hogan uncomfortable. He's tied for sixth in the country in sacks, and along with linebacker Anthony Barr, they are just unstoppable. So I think that Stanford loses two in a row. UCLA gets the win because it actually is a bit of a revenge game for UCLA, as Stanford beat them twice in a row last year. So I'm going with the Bruins. Now, it's the big game of the week. This is going to be insane. It's Florida State going into Clemson. Game days there. 8 o'clock game, and it's one of the biggest rivalries in college football. Now, I think that this is going to be a very even game. Both teams are very good offensively, but it comes down to the two quarterbacks. And if you look at it for me, this is the first test for Jameis Winston, and it's in an extremely hostile environment. And Clemson has one of the best fans in the country, and I just don't know if Jameis Winston could succeed. He hasn't played very good competition. I'm not doubting that he has great talent. He does. But I just don't know if he could really do well in this kind of situation, especially because Clemson, believe it or not, is first in the country in sacks, and they're also first in the country in tackles for loss. So I think that they can definitely make Jameis Winston feel a little bit uneasy. I'm not saying that he's going to do terrible. I think Jameis Winston does fine, but eventually Taj Boyd will overpower him, and the Tigers will come out with the win at home. So I'm going with Clemson. Now it's time for the night train, lock of the week, and I'm going with Texas A&M over Auburn. Now, Auburn is 88th in the country in passing defense, which is huge because Johnny Manziel is doing better than he is last year statistically. So I think that he's going to have his way with this Auburn defense. Texas A&M, their defense isn't great, so I think it's going to be an offensive battle. Um, but it also comes down to Auburn's quarterback, Nick Marshall. He's not doing so hot. 902 yards. He has 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. He didn't play last game, but still, those are pretty bad numbers. Um, so I think, like I said, it's an offensive showdown because Texas A&M doesn't have that great of a defense. But eventually, the Aggies will come out on top and they get this win at home. That's it for me, and I will see you next week. Enjoy a week in college football. Peace.